Let's jump right into today's explainer because this one is absolutely gripping. We're looking at a minute-by-minute story of an unexpected morning visitor in Savannah, Georgia. And honestly, it really shows how a simple knock at the door can literally change everything.
We're dropping right into the middle of the action with this single sentence. She went to 3 houses before anyone answered. It instantly pulls us into the dark, right? It sets up this incredible urgency. Like, who is she? And why on earth is she going door to door at this hour?
To really feel the gravity of the situation, we have to anchor ourselves in the sensory details. Picture this. It's Savannah, Georgia, late October. The clock reads exactly 5:45 a.m. It is pitch black outside, lit only by a few scattered porch lights. And the only sound breaking the absolute silence is the rhythmic ticking of lawn sprinklers.
And out in that darkness, this beagle is executing a relentless, highly deliberate routine. She isn't running around frantically, no. She moves from door to door, scratches at the wood, and just waits. And when no one answers, she doesn't panic. She just systematically moves on to the next house. It's this quiet, calculated kind of desperation.
But everything shifted on house number 3. Not the first, not the second. It was the third house, where a man named Thomas finally opened his door. That one action interrupted her solitary routine and kicked this whole incredible sequence of events into motion.
Now, when Thomas opens the door, his first instinct is totally logical for 5:45 in the morning. He assumes, naturally, that it's just a stray dog looking for a quick meal. But the beagle's reality was entirely different. Instead of begging for food, she backs down the porch steps, stops at the bottom, and just stares up at him. She was asking for something else entirely. Which leads us to this fascinating human reaction. Why did Thomas grab his keys? The truth is, he just grabbed them out of pure habit. He had absolutely no destination in mind at that hour. But, compelled by her silent, intense gaze, he steps out into the cold and just decides to follow her. So, Thomas follows his determined little guide into the dark, and a very specific path unfolds. First, she takes him down the quiet sidewalk, then they take a turn around the corner, and finally, she leads him straight into this narrow, cramped alleyway running right behind the houses on Elm Street.
Halfway down that dark alley, the mystery really sharpens into focus. They come across a large plastic recycling bin that's completely toppled over, resting heavily against a fence. And the beagle stops right there. This was the spot. This was exactly what she needed to show him. Because pinned beneath that heavy plastic bin was her single, 4-week-old puppy. The tiny dog was totally trapped under the immense weight of it, completely unable to free itself.
And what makes this moment so incredibly fragile are the sounds. The puppy was whimpering so softly, so weakly, that if Thomas hadn't been led to that exact spot by the mother, he almost certainly would have walked right past it. Her navigation was literally the only thing standing between life and death for that pup. So Thomas immediately steps in and heaves the heavy bin up with one hand. And the second the puppy is freed, pure maternal instinct takes over. As the story notes, the puppy gasped and wriggled free, and the beagle was on him instantly. She's licking him clean, checking every single inch of him with her nose. You can just feel the absolute relief. And while the dogs are having this intense reunion, Thomas just stands there in the alley for a long moment. He's still loosely clutching his house keys. He's just looking down at them, feeling this profound, unnamed emotion settling deeply in his chest as he realizes what he just became a part of. Which actually brings us right back to the number 3. But this time, it carries an entirely new, massive weight. It doesn't represent the number of houses she knocked on anymore. It represents the staggering 3 days this mother had been out there completely alone. Yeah, 3 days. Because after Thomas gets them safely inside, an 8 a.m. call to the animal shelter reveals the incredible backstory. She had been missing from a family 2 streets over, having slipped through a gap in their fence. And incredibly, she fled the exact same night her puppy was born, meaning she had been navigating the neighborhood, protecting her newborn out in the elements for 3 straight days before she finally knocked on Thomas's door. When you look at the timeline, it is just amazing to see how cleanly these intense morning hours resolve themselves. At 5:45 a.m., it was pitch dark and a desperate mother was scratching at a stranger's door. By 8 a.m., the puzzle pieces were coming together. And by noon, the original family was reunited with their missing dog and her brand new pup. A 3-day nightmare safely resolved in basically a single morning. But the emotional impact of all this, that doesn't just vanish when the dogs leave. After standing on his porch to watch the family drive away, Thomas goes back inside. He sits down at his kitchen table and he stays there for a long time. The house is quiet again,
but everything feels different as he sits there processing the immense weight of the morning.
The story wraps up on this incredibly powerful, undeniable fact. Some mornings just change you. The man who opened that door on autopilot at dawn was fundamentally, permanently changed by the time he sat down at his kitchen table at noon.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a final thought. Think about the unexpected, silent connections that completely alter the course of our days. What unexpected knock on your door are you ignoring right now? And where might it lead you if you just grabbed your keys and followed? Thanks for exploring this story with me today.